Hey guys, it's Allie and welcome to day 11 December Daily for 2017. Today I am working with my half circle foundation page that I set up. I have a whole tutorial and how-to and a layered template for you. If you're interested in my product play workshop, that's where I used this, and it had the silhouette file for this as well as a template that allows you to either do your journaling, well, you can do both. You can do your journaling in here. It has a circle template that you can mask your photo into. So you can see here the story that I'm going to tell today. This was just my example from the workshop. Anna and I went to the Nutcracker this morning as a field trip for her class, and so I masked. This is what you can do in Photoshop. You can take a shape like this and you can mask images inside of it. So I put two in here. I put one of Anna and then one of during the actual performance. So what I'm going to be doing is trimming this, and then I am going to do some journaling for it. And actually what I'm planning on doing is I am going to handwrite my journaling. I think I'm going to draw some lines and then just do some fun type of journaling on there. And I'm going to use this piece of paper right here and adhere that onto one of these other ones. I hadn't adhered down these other ones yet, which there's just a couple different layers in here together, but I think I may do that, or I may just leave them together. So next steps for me process-wise are to trim this, cut this down, and when I printed this one on my printer here this morning, I think it printed a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to use this previous one to cut that out, and then I'm going to address the journaling there as well. So first steps for me is obviously just cutting this out. I gotta go find my bigger scissors, and then I'm gonna cut this out and then deal with the journaling. Okay, so I think I'm going to use my trimmer first just to get along this line over here, and then I am going to lay the photo on top, the one that I had already done, and just use my scissors to cut this out. And I'm going for good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. Hand cutting circles, rarely perfect. I'm just gonna punch the holes. Alright, so there is what that one's gonna look like. And then one thing I was thinking is I could potentially, let's see if these are, I wondered if these would be long enough to go across there, almost. Maybe marry everything would be good. And I might just stop it before the hole anyway. Actually, I think I'm going to go right over the top and then I'll just re-punch that hole. And I'm just grabbing my power punch to just punch the single hole on there. Alright. right, so that's gonna go in there. And then I am going to do my journaling on this page here. And I'm gonna wait to adhere this to the back of this so that I make sure that whatever I do ends up being just fine. Okay, so one of the ways that I like to do journaling from time to time is by drawing lines and then filling them in. And so here you can see I'm just drawing in my lines, and I did a border, and then I'm just randomly drawing in these horizontal lines and making some of them be, you know, not perfect, right? I'm not trying to make them be all exactly across, because what I want to do then is I'm just going to fill in my story. And when I'm filling in my story on something that I've set up like this, I definitely like to do a combination of uppercase and lowercase, and I just kind of play it by ear, you know, figuring out as I go along. And that's kind of the same thing with the story itself. I just wrote very basic information about where we went, and how it's a fun tradition and those kinds of things. It's nothing super special in the, you know, in the sense of it's definitely more about just the facts of this kind of activity as a Christmas tradition and how fun it was to be able to go with Anna and that kind of thing. So that is what I'm doing there. And then as you'll see, I did something else with it. All right, so you guys saw me do this one, hand drawn on here. And then as I was doing it and I was thinking about this page, I was thinking to myself, oh man, that would be cool if it was black with white type, which you can't really do like a white, I mean, you could, it's harder to get white pen on black. I mean, you can buy cardstock and do it that way. So actually what I ended up doing was I took this piece, I scanned it into my computer, I traced it in Illustrator, and then I reversed it. So that's kind of definitely a technical thing to get to this point, but I totally love how it turned out, and I think that the black will look really good in here paired with this photo over here. So I'm gonna trim this out. And then I'm thinking that I'm gonna add, so this is day 11, so I'm thinking I'm gonna add the 11 right here, but I was considering doing some gold embossing on there. I like how that looks on there, so I'm thinking, I was looking either for some polka dots or some stars. Excuse me, so I'll probably emboss something on there. I just wanted to see what kind of stamp options I had for that. But what I'm gonna do, like I said, is I'm gonna cut this out and then we'll deal with the embossing. All right, so I got that all cut out. Love how that looked. That turned out great. It's kind of fun to just have some of the black in there, I think, too. So I'm gonna adhere this. It's close enough on there. I just wanna have it be back to back with one of these pages in here. This is one of let's see here. And you can see that it's a little bit bigger, but I don't really care about that. So that is how that is going to look in there. Super love it. I think I'm just gonna leave these ones loose in there so they're kind of their own pages, but they can turn all together. And now I'm going to do the embossing. Again, there's the white version, which totally, you know, would have worked in there too. I'm gonna emboss on there. I'm gonna try it with this this Jasmine Jones stamp set, and these were available in the December Daily Shop this year also, the black chipboard numbers. So I'm using Versamark, and then I'm using some Zing Gold embossing powder, and I'm gonna get and this is just a, you know, a random star pattern here. And we'll try it on here, do a couple stamps right on top. So with the Versamark, it's clear when you put it on there, so you can't see exactly where it's gonna be. And for this case, because I'm really just trying to get a pattern on there, it doesn't really matter to me. So I'm gonna do right there, and then I'm gonna do it again down below there. And this should get me some gold on top of this black chipboard. This is a snappy tray that I've had forever that I totally love. And then you just put some of the gold down on top there. And then you grab it, and then I'm going to use my heat gun to melt it on there. We'll see how it turns out. You could do white embossing ink on, or embossing powder on there too. And then you use your heat gun to set it. Cool, I think that turned out great. You can definitely tell when it melts too. I mean, it turns a more gold color. So that's a fun way to play with any chipboard numbers that you may have at home there. And I'm just gonna adhere this down onto this page, and then we will call this one good. Yeah, just gonna go right on top of there, and I'm just gonna use rolling adhesive. Actually, I think I'm gonna use red line tape for this. Let's see if I have any that's looks like most of what I have is thick, so we'll do a couple pieces on here. This is just, red line tape is a double-sided adhesive that is really strong. I like to use it for the acrylic words. I like to use it for rubber pieces. That's what I often use for the rubber pieces. And we'll do one more. And then after you put it on there, then you just peel the red part off, and then you have adhesive right on there. And you don't have to do it over the entire thing, just kind of depends on how much you want on there. All right, and I'm just gonna try to center this basically right on top of that Merry Everything. And there we go. That's day 11 for December Daily, and we'll see you guys back here again tomorrow.